Hello, everybody. My name is Brie.
And I'm Haley.
Welcome back to the Help Me podcast. Today, our topic is
Mythology Part 2.
Yippee!
Woo!
Hooray!
So last episode we left off on, I think, a bit about Sparta, a lot about slaves, a little bit about different kind of cultures in kind of similar areas, just how their mythologies kind of affected how they viewed both women, other human beings, that sort of thing. And today we're going to dive in a little bit more with specific gods, kind of their stories, how they affected, specifically Greek gods, how they affected Greek culture. And, yeah.
There was a lot of chatting last time. In fact, most of it was just, chatting. I don't think we were even, recording. I feel like me and Haley just sat down and we were like, let's have a little chat.
Let's have a little convo.
This time we're going to do the exact same thing. I would like to start off with, of course, the Big 12. Can you name them? Name them all right now.
Big 12. Scary. Zeus.
1.
Hera.
2.
Hades.
3.
Persephone.
4.
Athena.
5.
Aphrodite.
6.
Ares.
7.
Artemis.
8.
Apollo.
9.
Hephaestus.
10.
Demeter.
11.
No.
Somebody who...
Oh, Hermes. I love Hermes.
There we go. All right.
My favorite.
So, Haley kind of balled on that. I don't think I would have been able to do it. In fact, I think I've forgotten them already. But let's start off with the main two.
The main two?
Hera and Zeus.
Ooh, what a two they are?
Oh, I didn't know that was a saying.
That's not a saying.
What a two they are. What a pair.
What a pair.
A two.
What a two. They were something.
Yeah.
They were siblings.
And you know what? Something's all you can call them, because anything else would be so evil and nefarious.
And we're gonna do it anyway.
They, I believe that we spoke about how
they were
Zeus
born.
Tricked Hera into marrying him last episode.
Yes, we did.
Which was kind of ball. He pretended to be a bird.
No, we didn't. We didn't.
We didn't?
We didn't. We talked about how he kind of saved Hera from Kronos' stomach.
Well, yeah,
and the rest
did we not?
We talked about how Demeter also wanted to marry him.
Oh, yeah. Anywho, Zeus pretended to be a cuckoo bird. He pretended to be a
cuckoo bird.
I was going to say something else. Sorry. He pretended to be a cuckoo bird and made Hera nurse him back to health, even though he was perfectly healthy and he was just a big fat liar. And then she made him a bed and she was like, if I ever kiss you, then we can get married. And she kissed the bird and the bird was him. And he was like, gotcha. So yeah, that was their big love story.
What
and
a
then he went on to
romantic.
cheat on her I think 1,000,000 times.
A little bit more than that. Somewhere in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're siblings. They're partners, kind of.
Yuck.
They're enemies.
Oh my god, I saw this clip. Do you know who something Johnson on YouTube Shorts?
No.
It's the guy who made Orphan Tears, the song.
Okay.
Yeah. He does commentary, I guess.
Yeah.
He was talking about these two this relationship that was going on down in the southern United States of America. Guess who they were? Father and daughter. I can't remember if it was half father and half daughter or full father and daughter, but either way it's bad.
Daughter.
You know what? That's a good question.
You mean step?
No.
Stepfather? What do you mean half
they
father?
Were I don't know. They were legally related father-daughter, which is so evil. And then they were like, if we get married, then the court can't exactly be like, well, their relationship is fake, because then we'll be married and legally we'll be together forever. But the court just saw that as
incest?
Yeah, throwing some kindling on the fire, dude.
Yeah.
That just reminded me of them, you know?
So yeah, Zeus and Hera, they had a relationship. I would call it a good one.
I think they had, 2 kids?
So they had So they had two
like,
kids
Harmony
together.
Or something?
No. Okay,
that
so they
chick
had.
with the cursed necklace. What?
Oh, actually, I think they had 3 kids, maybe.
Because
they had Ares.
Yeah.
Who is probably the most prominent, favorite of both his dad and his mom.
Yep.
So he was like the favorite golden child, and then they had.
Evident by the fact that he's on the Big 12.
They also, their favorite daughter was the goddess of youth. Her name was
something?
No, that's Eris.
Oh.
Her
Yeah, and wasn't she married off to somebody? That's why I said Harmony.
Harmonia.
She was married off to somebody, and she had like a cursed necklace, and it like tainted their bloodline or something. I don't remember.
Either way, she was kind of in charge of keeping the gods looking young, but I think she cursed a couple of them at some point.
Something happened, and I think she herself wasn't a full god because she was married off to just some king.
Yeah, she kind of became a demigod even though she was born a god. It was a whole thing.
Yeah.
But the kind of creepy part, the shtick with her is she was forever to look like a child.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
Wait.
She's the goddess of youth.
Oh, I thought she would have been like youthful at like 25.
No, she was like a teen.
Hell,
like a young teen.
What the hell? No.
Yes.
No.
So that was the creepy part. And then they had one Eris.
Eris?
Eris is their child.
Who the hell? Who's that?
Trojan War.
Trojan War.
Apple Girl.
Eris?
Golden Apple.
Eris. Golden Apple, Apple Girl?
I
I don't remember Golden Apple, Apple Girl from the Trojan War. I don't remember Golden Apple, Apple Girl Eris from the Trojan War.
Okay, Golden Apple, Apple. I can't say that without laughing. Golden Apple, Apple Girl. So she made a golden apple because she wasn't invited to the wedding, and then she was like, the most beautiful goddess in the land will get this one. And so, oh my gosh,
Who'd she give it
Athena,
to?
Aphrodite, and Hera, they were all fighting over it, and she gave it to.
She better have given it to her mom.
So
That's her mom.
So then she picked a mortal.
Did she pick what's her face, Helen?
No, she picked the other dude.
Paris?
Paris. She picked Paris, and she's like, okay, pick the most beautiful. And so all of the goddesses were like, I'm going to promise you something. So Athena's like, you will be the greatest military commander of all time.
And he wouldn't want that.
And Hera was like, you will have the most vast and humongous kingdom of all time.
And I guess he didn't want that.
And Aphrodite's like, I'll give you the hottest chick in the land.
And he wanted
He wanted that. So he was like, you're the most beautiful goddess in the world. And everyone else was like, what? I don't know why they were so shocked. I don't know why they were shocked.
Honestly, okay. I don't understand why they would put anybody in a beauty contest with Aphrodite, considering that she's the living embodiment of beauty.
I'm shocked that he didn't choose Hera as, you will have the most powerful kingdom of all time and have a happy family.
And you know what? He kind of messed up, because Aphrodite as an enemy just pretty much means that you'll never get a hot girl.
But Hera as an ally means you probably still could.
Yeah. And honestly, Hera as an enemy?
No! Bad choices.
Awful choice.
Bad choices. He's clearly never read any of the other myths.
Clearly, he has not read the myths.
I think Hera has cursed more humans
than anybody
than
ever?
anyone.
Who
Not
else?
the worst god, but
Who's the worst god?
Zeus.
No.
Hands down, worst god.
Well.
Yes,
well.
he married his sister.
A lot of them did. Pull your horses.
Who else married
That's
their sister?
That's not the thing. Pull their horses. Hold your horses.
Who else married their sister?
Pull them, whatever.
Full blood sister.
Technically.
Uranus married his mom.
Kronos.
Okay, Kronos. That was not any better. At least Kronos didn't cheat on her.
I think he did. Because I think he tried not to have any kids with her.
Oh, she wanted other kids. Okay, so he did cheat on her a little bit, but like... There's like 4, okay?
Listen, he's not the worst god, but he's not the best.
Who's the worst god, in your opinion?
Oh, that's what I was trying to think of.
Erm? I never heard of that god.
Yeah, god of like indecision. See, that was him right there.
He works in magical ways.
Yeah.
Still haven't answered the question.
So, I don't know.
They're all kind of crappy. There's a couple nice ones. I really like Hermes.
We talked about that last time.
No, we didn't.
Hermes was, we talked about, like...
How bad all the gods were? Yeah.
Hermes is okay. I like his story.
Born
in...
An island.
On an island.
In a cave.
In a cave. And his mother was like, heading out for a minute, son. And he was like...
Okay, I'm newborn.
And then he, like, killed and ate a turtle. He, like, made it a musical instrument. He, like, stole Apollo's sheep, all of them. Or, no, his cows. His cows. He stole all of his cows.
All of them?
I think he was planning on eating them, too. But he, like, led them into the ocean. He was, like, doing all sorts of little
He,
tricks.
like, danced on people. He was, like... He walked them backward. He was, like... 3 hours old.
Yeah. Why'd they leave him there? All right, kid, you're fresh, but I gotta jump. And then he went home and he was like sucking on his thumb, and Apollo shows up and he's like, "Where's my cows, bro? Where'd you put them? I know it was you. Where'd you put them?" And he was like, "What cows? I don't know what a cow is. I'm brand new." I went, "Okay." And then he came back and he was like, "I know it was you. How about you give them back right now?"
And then
he was
they
what if I give you this little tortoise shell that I made into a little banjo type deal? And he was like, "Okay, actually, that sounds awesome."
Yeah, but then he was like, "Actually, I don't like it." And then he brought his dad in, and his dad's like, "Where are his cows?" And he's like, "Fine. I ate some of them, but the rest are in the back."
Yeah, and then he was like off the hook. But I like Apollo and Artemis's story too.
They have a really great story.
So their mother.
What a mother. What a father. Oh, we should probably mention Hermes' father was Zeus.
Yeah.
Yeah, might have been, should have started with that one.
Yeah, could have, like...
Led with that.
Put the cards on the table with that one, you know? But, you know what? Through shenanigans and... what's another word for shenanigans?
Goofy things?
No, I don't want to use that one.
Shenanigans and tomfoolery?
Tomfoolery there. Thank you, buddy. Through shenanigans and tomfoolery, one could just presume that he was Zeus' son. But Apollo and Artemis are Zeus' twin son and daughters.
Oh, we love them.
And honestly, kind of baller name for twins, not gonna lie. I think it's kind of awesome to name your twins something that, like, go together. I'm sure that's not awesome for the twins themselves because it feels like you're just a part of a set and not an individual. But I think it's cool, so.
Oh, okay. So the story of Artemis and Apollo, their mother was a Titan.
Yeah,
Leto. And so she naturally screwed around with Zeus. And Hera didn't like that, so Zeus hid her in an island.
And then Hera cursed her to never be able to give birth on, I believe, land, any land anchored to the earth, any water, any living soil, like pretty much anything.
So she gave birth to them in the sky.
No, on a floating island.
In the sky.
Yeah. And then it permanently... And then after she did that, it, like, permanently stuck them to the land, which they weren't too pumped about, but it became, like, the birthplace of Apollo and Artemis, so,
which
like...
Which is pretty cool.
It became, like, their patron place.
Woo!
Artemis was born first and actually helped her mother
give birth. These gods, I mean, when I was, like, an infant, I wasn't doing any of that. I wasn't eating any tortoise or...
I don't think I could even pick my head up yet.
Yeah. Imagine, like, just popping out and then immediately going, okay, I'll help you with the other one.
Roll my sleeves up. I already got sleeves fresh out the wood. Roll my sleeves up, cracking my knuckles. All right, stretching a little bit. Let's get to it.
Oh, my gosh. So, yeah, she helped her brother leave the womb, as one does when they're born.
They ended up becoming they weren't originally the sun and the moon.
No.
They were...
Okay.
They were, like, music.
He was music and healing, I believe.
Music and healing.
And she was hunting? And wolves.
They were also, like, the protector of women and the protector of men. No, protector of girls and protector of boys.
Yeah, exclusively.
Yeah.
Okay,
so like
Apollo
protected boys.
yeah, and
Artemis
Artemis
protected
was girls.
which is why she made the Hundreds of Artemis.
Woo! And so the two of them, I think they had a good relationship as siblings. Based on the myths, they pretty much
They
did.
kind of just like balled. They didn't. They weren't often portrayed together, but when they were, it was never portrayed as
in a
them being,
negative way. There are a couple of stories. Most of them, they're just helping each other.
A lot of
and
them,
they're like
though,
a
it's
side
like,
character.
A lot of them, it's like sibling rivalry. Though.
There
it's
is a
not even
lot
like a
of
serious
sibling
like issue.
Yeah, it's like sometimes they'll have competitions over who's the better archer.
Yeah.
To which Artemis wins.
Because she's a ball. Which one of them is the god of archery? I think Apollo's the god.
Apollo's technically. Okay, Artemis is the goddess of archery, but Apollo's like signature, or no, other way around. Apollo's the god of archery, but Artemis's like signature weapon is a bow and arrow.
They became the moon and the sun god when Helos and Selene retired, I guess, or depending on the story, were forced into retirement by Zeus in order to give his children these roles. But they did okay.
Okay. I mean, Apollo kind of just rode around in a fancy little red chariot.
And she also rode around in a fancy silver chariot.
As one does when you become the god of the sun and moon.
The sun and moon, yeah. Artemis is a eternal maiden, and she was able to convince her father to let her do that by
telling him
sucking up to him pretty much.
Don't want to get married.
Yeah, and then he was like, "You got it." And then he also gave her like some sick, cool, awesome bow, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he gave Apollo one as well.
They had like matching sets.
Apollo was the god of plagues and disease as well.
Yeah, and healing. Which is kind of he's
like just like he's
literally
not a one-trick pony. He's a jack of all trades.
They were like, okay, so we have like 15 different gods we need. What do? Do we make a bunch of new ones or do we just throw them all at one? And they were like, let's just throw them all at one.
Honestly, it's hard to pinpoint what Artemis is the god of because originally she wasn't really the god of anything in particular.
Okay, the tricky thing with Artemis is there's like nothing on her. Like there's so little text where she's actually doing some doing her.
Men hate to see a woman succeed.
Really, there's a couple with her, I think, helping a couple mortals, and a couple with her helping her brother, and a bit about sibling rivalry, and there's one about how she got. No. Wrong person. There's one where, I think there's one solid story where she, like, cursed a hunter that was trying to, like...
Orion?
Yeah.
Yeah. Orion's kind of an awesome story. She runs the Hunters of Artemis, as in the name, and within them, it's girls only. No boys allowed. But she almost made an exception for this one guy, Orion. And then I think he was strayed away or cursed by somebody, I can't remember.
Yeah.
And then she had to like kill him or something and turned him into a constellation. I don't remember. It was a really good story when I remembered it.
Which Bree said. But there's not a lot about her. I think she wasn't really... In Greek mythology, she was just chilling, living her best life.
Well, she was just so busy with those girls.
That's true. She traveled the world with the girls. People did pray for her if they wanted like a good hunt or to succeed in the hunt, but I think they probably also prayed to Apollo for that.
I believe among mortals she was one of the more feared because she lived among mortals so often.
She was said to, like, you could meet her. It's not like Zeus who was like, I'll strike you with a thunderbolt if I don't like you much.
Or I'll show up in a cloud of glitter and seduce you.
Which did happen.
Yep.
Not the weirdest way he seduced someone, but
think
definitely the most creative.
I think it is.
He seduced someone as a cow, Brie.
You know what? I understand that more than a cloud of glitter. It was a very appealing description of the cow that I read. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm JK. Don't worry. I'm not that kind of guy.
What kind of guy are you?
A normal one? What do you mean by that?
That checks out.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But yeah, so there isn't a lot about Artemis. Another child of Zeus would be Athena, and she probably has some of the as a female goddess, she probably has one of the most. Second maybe to Hera, but
her mother was Themis or something. Themis. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I can't remember what happened. Did Zeus eat her? Because there was a prophecy where I'm getting messages on my phone. There was a prophecy where his child
would be more
that
powerful.
was born of
Themis
would be more powerful than him.
Yep.
And take him down one day. Pretty much the same thing that happened to
his
Uranus.
Basically, Uranus and Kronos. So he ate her.
Yeah, he ate his pregnant girlfriend.
Basically, this was before he got with Hera.
Yeah,
mind you. So this was pre-murderous wife. But
and then she turned into like a little wisp in the wind, and like crawled into his brain or something.
I don't know.
And then like Athena was born in there, and she started like pounding in, like, let me out.
So he had such a bad headache, and oh my gosh, who cut his head open? Hephaestus was like, oh,
I'll grab the shovel. What? I'll grab the what's the thing? That you put
the
on
tapping?
The rock that you hit with a hammer, it cracks it open. What is that?
A nail?
No. A nail? Oh, no, not a nail. What is it called?
A tiny metal spike.
No. What is it called? Pedal? What am I going on about? What is it called?
Basically, he cracked his head open.
Yeah. And out popped a kid. And you know what?
He loved that kid. He loved that kid more than he loved any of his kids.
Oh dear. Goodness gracious. There were announcements over the PA speaker. We had to pause it.
I'm so sorry.
We're back.
We're back. Where were we at?
So, that's a
right,
good question.
Athena. She was his favorite. Hands down, no ifs, ands, or buts. He said it multiple times, many times. You're my favorite. And I guess no one else cared. I mean, I don't know. On one hand, it's like, oh, I'm not my dad's favorite. On the other hand, it's like, my dad is Zeus. Do I really want to be his favorite?
You know what? I would be scared of being victimized. He went for his sister. Who knows what else he'd go for?
Yeah, that's true. But Athena was like, cool. And so Athena was definitely one of the most powerful goddesses, for sure.
If not the most.
No, I think Nyx would be the most powerful.
Well, she's not technically. She's okay.
Classified as a goddess.
It's kind of weird because they almost go in phases of power. Yeah. So like technically, the very first gods and goddesses were the most powerful,
right?
Which is where Nyx is, followed by the Titans, followed by the other gods.
Right.
So there was like a period where they were just making like lame offspring, and then like
and a couple of monsters. Don't forget the monsters.
A couple of monsters. But then they came back on top, you know.
Right. But Nyx, I'd say Athena is probably one of the most powerful for the new gods. For the third generation, the Olympians for sure. But if we're talking about any of the gods and or goddesses, like I think Nyx hands down trumps even Gaia.
She's just a goddess of darkness and night, isn't she?
Yeah. I don't think it's what she was. I think it's how she used her power. Like she was like literally she could like influence the way shadows moved, which in turn influenced how humans could move. She basically just did a bunch of dark voodoo crap, and she was the only one I think that Zeus was genuinely afraid of.
I think Zeus was talking about him like he was real. I think Zeus would have been afraid of like a lot of stuff, because I fully believe that there are stories out there about prophecies, about blah, 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 that we lost. You know, the burning of the Library of Alexandria was pretty big deal.
Was it? I didn't notice.
Have you ever seen that flowchart where it's like the learning curve of like humanity as a whole, and then it's like just drops out when the burning of Alexandria happens, and then it starts climbing back up during the Middle Ages? We were on a steady incline until that bad boy was burned down. That's all I've got to say.
Right. And I think we definitely lost a ton of myths, specifically Greek mythology in that, but
people didn't care about the Greeks at that point.
They weren't popular.
That was the Roman era. They didn't
They didn't care for
They
them.
were their predecessors. They didn't really
Give a crap.
Yeah, they were off to the side. They didn't want to can't see, can't hear type deal.
But yeah, Athena was definitely very powerful. She was the goddess of war
Wisdom.
strategy, wisdom,
Arts and crafts.
which we love.
I love arts and crafts.
I love how she went from like wisdom, war strategy, arts and crafts for your
arts
kids.
and crafts are awesome. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my gosh, I would actually love that. I am the god of arts and crafts. Hand me some scissors and glue. I will get this done.
I just love creating things.
So did she. And so her strategies trumps that of even Ares, which was insane at the time because he was pretty important.
Well, he was war. She was war strategies.
Right.
So like if you had the god of Ares on one side and the goddess Athena on the other, Athena probably...
It depends. It depends on the fight.
Well, it's like war as a whole or war with strategy.
Well, okay, think of it this way. Athena could make it so that her side like strategized and like planned it out. But Ares literally, like, they're just insane, crazy.
He would just send them in and be like, go have fun. And she would probably plan for that, though.
Right, but in turn, he also, like, famine, drought.
That's true.
He had control over that sort of thing.
That is true.
Like, not as much as Apollo, maybe, but he definitely had, like, he had a foot in that.
In Christianity, one of the four horsemen, technically, originally, the four horsemen were all Ares before they split, I believe. So Ares became war. I believe Demeter was considered famine. Phantos was death. And then, what was the last one?
War, famine, death.
War, famine, death. We're like chanted 3 times.
War, famine, death. War, famine,
Wait, no,
death.
That might be promoting violence.
We don't promote violence on this channel because it goes against the Spotify's
Welcome back.
Terms and conditions.
Oh,
we love everyone, and violence sucks.
You think about it, I'm going to talk about this clip I saw. So, I saw this clip the other day, and it was kind of awesome. It was of a podcast, and I had seen it before, but I had just forgotten about it. And she was like, well, luckily I have had. Hello? I thought they weren't doing that today. Anyway, she was like, luckily I have had. And the guy that she was with was like, no. Oh my god, do I even remember the Yes, I do. She was like, luckily I have purse. And the guy that she was with was like, I have purse. And she started giggling. She was like, I have purse, I have shoe. and he goes again, I have purse, I have shoe, I have hat on head. And I just think that's just such an awesome clip. Okay, what's the fourth horseman?
War, famine,
and
death, and I don't know. We're talking about like Catholics.
Okay.
I don't know a lot about that religion.
You're like adjacent.
Bree.
All Catholics are Christian, but only some Christians are Catholics. Huh?
Yeah.
I understand that you're not in the branch.
Okay, Bree, that branch split like a couple hundred years ago.
Yeah, didn't they split with the Old Testament?
Yes.
Yeah. I got a really old copy of the Old Testament in my house.
Nice.
It was either my great-great-grandmother's or my great-great-great-grandmother's.
That's a lot of greats.
It came from Europe.
Where
they
in
were
Europe?
white. I don't know. Scotland, probably.
Pestilence.
Oh.
We're just gonna leave this open though.
Okay. So pestilence.
Pestilence. Don't know who that would be.
Pest.
It's pests,
bugs.
insects. Oh, that probably derives from Egypt, actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
Probably because like they're locusts or whatever.
Yeah.
Or the dung beetle. It was like raw. I don't remember.
Anyway,
I don't remember.
let's get back on track. What have we covered?
Let's talk about Dionysus. I like that guy.
Okay.
So, god of, like, alcohol, god of having a good time, god of, like,
Other things.
freaky stuff.
The freaky things that go bump in the night.
In the night.
In the night or in the day.
Anywhere, really, for him.
In the night for most human beings.
Well, he wasn't human.
He had a cult. He had a weird cult.
There's a song about it. If you've ever heard it.
Let's not sing that song. I mean, I know we can, but not for...
It is not against Spotify terms of service. Or YouTube terms of service, actually.
But it is against what I wanted to.
It is. I don't want you to, which is why I'm going to tell you not to.
Yeah, so... Yeah, Dionysus was definitely funky. He was probably one of the chiller gods.
I wouldn't say that.
He didn't seduce someone as a cloud of glitter dust.
No, but I'm sure he would have if he had thought of it first.
Oh my gosh, sometimes I feel like Zeus was like, okay, what should I do next? And then took like a peek at like what Dionysus was doing, and he was like, this.
He had a cult, and inside the cult were these nymphs called the Menades, I believe. And
You know more about this cult than I do.
What do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is I haven't dug deep into the lore of Dionysus.
Okay, pal. Anywho, they would like tear people to shreds. There was this one story about this king whose mother joined the cult, and then she was like partying hard, and he came up and he was like, whoa, this is freaky, and then he hid in the bushes to watch because he was a freak. And then they found him and they like tore him into pieces along with his own mother. No, she helped tear him to pieces, sorry. But that's
The more
just
you
kind of
know.
that's just kind of interesting.
That's the lore.
Yeah.
Let me think. Poseidon. No, we talked about Poseidon. We talked about Hades, we talked about Persephone.
Let's talk about Hephaestus. Poor guy.
Thrown off a mountain at the age of...
Birth. At the age of 0.
There's a common theme here.
Thrown off the mountain at the age of 0. Yeah.
Fresh out the womb. Okay, the funny thing with Hephaestus...
He got popped out and his mom was like, I don't like it.
Not the funny thing. That was the cruel part, but I think it was kind of the first thoughts that humans had on, oh my gosh, meiosis?
Meiosis?
Meiosis, I believe, which is, yeah, cloning.
Do you know what meiosis is?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
So Hera had Hephaestus by herself.
Mm-hmm.
He was a thought that she conceived.
She was pretty much, because Zeus kept cheating on her, so she was like, how would he like it if I had a kid without him?
He did not care.
No. He
Did not care one bit.
Kind of backfired because she just got some ugly kid that she didn't like.
And then so she threw him off a cliff and he was disfigured. I don't know how he came back up.
He grew up?
Yeah, but like, did he climb it?
No.
Oh, what did he do?
He was a god, buddy. He just went back.
How?
He just went back. No, I think a donkey carted him up. No, I think a donkey did cart him up.
Okay, so supposedly a donkey carried him.
Yeah, I think he rode, because his legs didn't work that good.
So yeah, he was heavily disfigured, but he became the god of metal
God of, like,
work, basically.
yeah.
Like the
Volcanoes,
blacksmith.
metalwork, fire.
Blacksmith. And he was considered like the ugliest god, but he married Aphrodite.
The most beautiful god.
And she hated that
A lot.
a lot. So she was like, I'm not going to be in love with you. I'm going to be in love with your hotter, older, more attractive brother, the god of war, Ares. So then she's like, I'm going to get freaky with Ares.
Put him in a big net and laughed at him. And left him in there for like weeks.
And then Aphrodite was like, don't you dare do that. So then she like slept with him in their house, and so he made like a golden throne for them.
Yeah.
And then when they started getting freaky on the golden throne, it like stuck him to it.
Yeah.
He also did that with Hera too.
Yeah.
He had a lot of golden thrones that he used.
I don't know why he had so many. He was just mass producing them.
He's like, you've screwed me over.
Time to get you. Gonna get you.
Here's a lovely seat that you should sit on. And both times it took a lot of convincing, but eventually he let them go because, he's a pacifist.
Anywho, let's talk about Aphrodite. So, notorious husband cheater on.
Not as bad as Zeus.
Not as bad as Zeus, but pretty bad. She was born out of a certain guy's...
Uranus.
I
Oh.
know.
Well, they don't.
Well, blah, blah, blah. They can figure it out. She was born of Uranus's... a part of his body. A very specific part.
His third arm.
That was chopped off when he was all cut up and thrown into the sea. She was born, it's either said that she was born out of a pearl that it created at the bottom of the sea.
Sea foam.
Or the sea foam
On
of
top.
the blood.
So we're going to do both. The first half of her was created by a pearl, so her head was like the pearl, and
What?
then...
What are you talking
I'm
about?
joking.
Her head was a pearl and her arms were seahorses and she swam in the ocean with the dolphins and ate shrimp. What are you talking about?
So yeah, that's what happened.
Okay.
No. Most popular literatures say that she was born of sea foam.
Yep.
So that's what we're gonna go with.
They say she had one kid, but also they say she had no kids. But the one kid they said that she did have was Eros, although
But
it
they
is
also
considered that it wasn't hers.
It's
But
such a-
also that he was her brother, but also sometimes it's like
he's
he
her
was born-
father.
Yeah. So
Okay,
there's
so
just
here,
like a lot.
okay, so Eros is like probably the funkiest one as far as origin, because on one hand we have literature that says, yeah, he was around with like Nyx and Tartarus and like all of these very ancient, very old gods. On the other hand, he's a baby. I'm joking on that one. On the other hand, it also states that he's the daughter. His mother is Aphrodite and his father is Ares.
Yeah.
On the other hand, she's his brother. On the other hand, he's her father. It's just, there's no straight line. They're related. We don't know how. Most people assume that he's her son because of how she treats him in other texts.
Like in the last episode, we talked about Psyche and how she treated him in that myth was very like mother-son type deal.
Yeah, I don't think I'd treat my father the way she treated Eros or my brother.
You don't have a brother.
Well,
Do
if
you
I-
have a brother?
Maybe I do.
What? No, you don't. Shut up.
His name's Peter.
What? No.
Shout out to Peter.
I know like 2 Peters and both of them are blonde, so I don't think that's you.
Okay, you don't know how old Peter is.
Is he not? You're. Anyway. I don't want to talk to this guy anymore. I gotta go.
I think that's a wrap for today's.
No, we got a little bit more time. Let's talk about Aphrodite a little bit more. So, she was... What was I going to say about her? I certainly had...
Stop looking at me like I can read your mind. I can't.
You might as well could.
Ugh.
You might as well should. You should.
I don't know. Were you gonna talk about
What was I going to talk about?
her child, Psyche,
Having a child?
Eros?
Well, like, maybe. But, oh yeah. So, technically, since Aphrodite was born of Uranus and was considered... How about we grow up a little? Huh? How about that? No more fun, no more joy. How about we grow up?
Continue.
So, as she was born of Uranus, she, but she's still considered a god. It's debated whether she's considered in the first generation of gods or the second. Because they say that love is like...
Eternal?
they say it's like one of the first things. Like, she's not just the god of love, obviously, but she's the god of that kind of deal. And they say that that's been around forever, pretty much. So they...
But on the other hand, humans weren't around forever, and human love is particularly what she specializes in.
Yeah.
So you could go either way on whether or not she was a first-gen god or if she was an Olympian. she wasn't overly powerful.
She was pretty powerful.
She was pretty powerful. I wouldn't, if it was
she,
between her and Athena, she
and
didn't win that fight.
With, just straight power, probably one of the weaker ones, but with what she could do with her power, one of the stronger.
Yeah, I agree. There's probably more gods she could beat to goddesses, but that's mainly due to the fact that there's, 4.
With power scaling, her abilities probably match, Hermes. They're not, super...
They're not crazy.
They're not crazy, but how she uses them matches,
So, kind of how Nyx worked. She didn't have the craziest powers in the world, but how she used her powers, you get a little creative, you get a little bloodthirsty, and you get a really powerful god. She could be very manipulative, I think was the best aspect and her trait she had. I don't think if she was, going, I don't know, in a gladiator ring with Athena, she would win.
No.
But if we're talking about, who could get information out of someone quicker, Aphrodite definitely could.
Yeah.
To Athena. I think it was just how she used her powers. She was very manipulative. She understood humans very well.
Mm-hmm.
Which is very...
uncommon for the gods.
It was unique, definitely. And I think, in turn, a lot of humans really liked her. Especially the male population.
Yeah, there was a correlation with the two of those, but whatever. Anywho, that was my 2 cents that I wanted to add in. That's all I've got.
So yeah, I think that's it for today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you guys for listening. We hope you enjoyed today's episode, and
go find our next one when it drops, when it releases.
And I hope you guys have a great day.
Send in pause.
Yeah.
Send in a email at helpmepodsubmissions@gmail.com.
Link in the description.
No. Link at the link in the podcast description.
Link in the bio then?
Oh, I guess link in the description. Sorry, buddy.
Link in the description. We want to hear what you guys think. We want to hear what you guys want to learn about next.
We haven't checked the email yet. I sure hope there's nothing just sitting in there.
If there is, we'll be sure to cover it as soon as possible. And yeah, again, hope you guys have a great day.
Hope you guys have a mediocre day, actually.
And
hope you have a bad day.
No, because we don't promote or condone violence on this channel.
That's not violence. You can have a bad day that's not violent.
Have a great day, we'll
have a bad day. You're gonna have a bad time, like that Undertale song. You're gonna have a bad time.
Have a great day and goodbye.